Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys joining us for today's video. Got a good one for you guys today. I'm going to show you guys how to build and rig the Mongo spinnerbait. That's what I call it. I call it the Mongo. It's been one I've been using for 25 years during the pre-spawn this time of year. And guys, it will catch big ones. I probably caught more 7-pound class bass on this exact spinnerbait setup than any other spinnerbait that I've shown in the month of March primarily. So I'm going to show you guys how I build it and give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it and where to fish it at. So real quick guys, I'd just like to thank everybody and invite everybody that has been participating in our View Products shopping tab on the channel. When you click on the video at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little thing that says View Products will pop up. And that's 30 products I put on there every day that I think you guys might be interested in. Guys, there's not a better way you can support this channel by clicking on those products and checking them out. That's a really good way to support the channel if you don't mind that. Much appreciated. Okay, guys, big spinnerbaits during the pre-spawn, man, you can't beat them for big fish. That's, you know, the gizzard shad, threadfin shad are really big this time of year. That's why the big spinnerbait works up. And spinnerbait fishing, you have a lot of different variables in it as far as the components go. You got the skirts, you got the skirt colors, the skirt, materials, you got the bodies, you got the head size, you got the wire diameters, you got the different blade configurations, you got trailers. There's a lot of mixing and matching that goes on with spinnerbaits, and I'm going to show you guys how to set up my favorite ones. Just sort of, you can build it by scratch, and just out of the stuff I'm going to show you guys here. And I know that Bait Works here in Springfield has a bunch of blade components. If you guys want to order some blades, I'll put the Bait Works link in the description for that. So here we go. Okay guys, starting out, I go with a 3/4 to 1 ounce head starting out. This is the key, because on these big spinnerbaits like this, you don't want them to lift too much because you got big blades on them. You got a lot of different material on them, so you need that heavy weight. Even in shallow water, even if you're fishing 2 to 3 feet of water, you got to have that heavy head. So right off the bat, I go to a 3/4 to 1 ounce head with a fairly stiff, large wire diameter, because you can't use some light wire spinnerbait hook because it just won't hold the torque of the blades. The next thing I do, I got 2 different blades that I use. One will be a number 8 Colorado, which is a big one, or a number 8 Willow Leaf. These are big blades, and in comparison, let me sort of show you guys. I'll show this. This is a number 3.5 blade right here, and this is a number 8 blade compared to it, so you can see how giant the number 8 blade is. So the next thing I do, and both of these are single blades too. So I'm just going to rig the Colorado blade up here. And really the blade, whether I go to Colorado or Willow Leaf, it depends on the water clarity that I'm fishing and the type of day. If I'm fishing water visibility that's got quite a bit of stain to it, like in, say the water visibility is, a 1.5 feet or less, I like to go to the Colorado blade. And if it's a little bit cleaner than that, I'll go to the big Willow Leaf sometimes. It just puts off more flash. The Colorado puts off more vibration, which is what you want in that dirty water. The next thing I do is I got my skirt here, and during the pre-spawn, I prefer the old style, the old school live rubber, or real rubber. It's not silicone. So I'm going to put that on there. And one of the things about putting this real rubber on, guys, these things can be hard to get on because they have a big collar on them. So sometimes you really got to work them on there. And colors, like I said, I don't get real caught up on the skirt colors that much. It's just really, again, about with the sky conditions and the water clarity that I'm fishing. Sometimes it helps too. These rubber skirts are so tight, sometimes you need to wet the surface because they actually have a rubber band on inside of them, and they just don't go up real easy. So we'll put that on like that. Got that on there. Next thing you do, guys, you need a big oversized fat trailer. This is that Zoom Z Swim. It's about almost 4-inch long swim bait. You want some type of a large, meaty swim bait trailer on it, something that's got some mass and meat to it, because again, that just creates the larger profile. You don't want to trim it up or do any modification to it. You just put it on, regular like this. And make sure you get it on straight too. That's another big key. Sometimes if you can't get it completely straight, just tear it a little bit at the bottom there. And there's the setup you got here. But guys, this is a big bait right here. Let me show you in comparison what we have here. This right here is the this is a Megabass SB3 spinnerbait here, 3/4 ounce. But you can see the size comparison in the size. This bait right here, set up like this, is probably over 7 inches long. It's a big bait right here. It puts out a lot of water displacement. Blade has a lot of different vibration. It's a super aggressive bait. And the thing about this is you have a combination of the large profile, the bright colors like this, the thumping loud blade. This bait moves a lot of water. It displaces a lot of water. It creates a lot of commotion in the water. And there's something about it that triggers big ones to hit it. I mean, the average fish you're going to catch on this setup, guys, is going to be over 3 pounds. And most of the time, this time of year, they're going to be over 4 pounds. But that is my favorite pre-spawn March setup. I call it the Mongo. And let's talk a little bit about where you want to fish it at. What you have in March is you got the first wave of big female bass start to move up before anything. Once that water temperature starts to get in the low to mid 50s, it's like a light switch gets flipped on a lake. And those heavy female bass, the pre-spawners, 4-pounders and above, they start to move shallower than they are any other time of the year. There's a bigger population of 4-pound bass plus living in water less than 5 feet deep in March than any other time of the year. And that is why you go big with the bait like this. I mean, we're going to be talking a lot about March. You're going to hear me talking about a lot of big baits in it. That's one of the reasons. So you have to find those areas where those big ones move up first. And the big fish will move up. What they like to do is they like to set up on any type of secondary point, regardless how defined that point is. It can be like a typical defined looking point. It can be something as inobvious as like a little rock outcropping as big around as your car hood, something like that. But any type of a secondary point within one of the major creek arms of the lake. This is like a magnet for big fish. The second area that I fish these around are channel banks in those same creeks. And normally what you have, if you go like halfway back in the major creek arms, you start to get some type of a water visibility change. And the farther you get back in the creek, you have a more defined channel on one side of the creek. You'll have a steep side and a flatter side. And those big females will migrate up and down those steeper channel side banks. So what I do with the big Mongo is I throw it on a flipping stick. I throw it on a Megabass Alkalies flipping stick, 20 to 25 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line, and I get parallel to those channel banks, and I'll throw that bait right up on the rock and just slow roll it, just slow crawl it down that bank, trying to target that 1 to 4 foot of water. And if you get a day that's got like a March day that has, say you have an approaching front, or you got some clouds, or you got a fairly strong southerly airflow, falling barometric pressure, those big ones will get right on the bank, and there's not a better lure that you can fish with them than a big spinnerbait like that. But anyway, guys, just set it up. Like I said, it's pretty easy to do. Just get you a single big Colorado, big willow leaf, 3/4 ounce spinnerbait body. Like I said, don't get caught up too much on skirt colors. It depends on the water clarity. Get you a big swim bait trailer on there. Put it on a flipping stick. Here's another reason you want to use the flipping stick, is that when you're fishing this bait, like I said, it weighs an ounce, probably over an ounce with all the components on it. But when you throw this big bait out there and you get a 5 to 7, 8 pound bass come up and hit this thing, you have got to move a tremendous amount of material, wires, plastic, skirt. You got to move a tremendous amount of material to actually hook that fish. So that's why I use the flipping stick with it. Most of these big spinnerbaits have a stiff 5/0 hook, so you're not going to have any worry about that. And it's just been really effective and one of the best ways that I've figured out to catch big ones. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Much appreciated, and we'll talk later.